Last Kiss from Mummy is a really brilliant book from Casey Watson, but I have to say I really struggled to like Emma, even right towards the end. There are a lot of foster care memoirs where the teenager or the child the foster carer is looking after is really irritating, but then they have, kind of redemption or they learn the error of their ways and they become likable. But even right until the end, I didn't like her. She is a 14-year-old who is she's just had a very young baby. She's just given birth is the better way to say that. And although Casey is not trained in mother and baby placements, this seemed to fit. This just seemed to be the right child at the right time. So Casey looks after Emma, who, as I said, is 14 years old, and her young baby, who is, by all intents and purposes, a gorgeous little baby as far as the description goes. And she has to look after Emma, but also Emma has to look after her own baby, little baby Roman. And it's all about seeing whether or not Emma will actually ever get to keep Roman, because apparently if you are underage and have a child, you're automatically kind of monitored by social services, which I wasn't actually aware of. It makes sense, and I kind of assumed that would have been the case, because why wouldn't it be? But it is also kind of quite scary to say that a person who is 14 or 15 or any age under 16 will have to be monitored by social services to prove they're capable of looking after the child. But as soon as somebody turns 16, it's just assumed, I guess, because of resources, obviously, that they're going to be competent and they're going to be good parents. And I know everybody has a right to have a child, but not everybody deserves to be a parent. There are some pretty terrible, terrible people out there who have children for the wrong reason. Emma does actually seem to care about Roman, though, but her priorities are in the wrong place, and a lot of that revolves around her manipulative 18-year-old boyfriend. And I hate him. I never liked him. And I'm not going to say why, but definitely he is a source of great frustration. And Emma, yeah, she's 14, she's quite young, but at the same time, she's 14. She's not an idiot, and yet she's making terrible choice after terrible choice, constantly letting Casey down. More importantly, constantly letting her young son down. And it's so frustrating and so infuriating. And of course, there's only so much that Casey can do. There's only so much that she can encourage Emma to do. She can't lock her in the house and demand that she cares for her baby 24/7. And to be quite frank, Casey does more than she should have done with that child. But I don't blame her. If there's a baby in the house who's crying, the majority of people will step in and help out where they can. So it's a frustrating read, but it's gripping. It is gripping and uncertain as well. It's a very unpredictable narrative. I personally didn't know how it would resolve or what would happen to Roman. It certainly takes an interesting and unexpected turn. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I didn't like Emma, but the story itself I found to be gripping, compelling, quite well written. If you're new to Casey Watson's books, I'd say don't start with this one, just because it's not typical of the kind of narrative you'd get. But of course, if you're interested in it, there's no problem with starting with it, but it's just not the kind of thing you could expect from the majority of her other memoirs. But I really liked it, A Last Kiss from Mummy, despite my distaste of the actual protagonist, by which I mean Emma, not Casey. I really enjoyed it.